You don't have to talk close to the mic here.
All right. Look at y'all, man. Up in the studio.
We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. It is Grown Man Conversations, the visual podcast. It means you can see us as well as hear us, and that's a blessing to be able to be heard and to be seen. Tonight we have a very special show. We are talking about your health, your wealth, protecting your mental health, spiritual, physical, and emotional. That's 360 degrees on my clock. So I am one half of your co-hosting team for Grown Man Conversations, and I go by the name of Tonex. Can I get some hand claps for that, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I would. I am the other half of this co-hosting team, and I go by the name of Y Square.
Hand claps for that.
Thank you.
Hand claps for Y Square. And tonight, this is kinfolk, all right? Who's our skin folk, all right?
That's right.
We go back with this couple like fat crayons and car seats.
Mm-hmm.
We have enjoyed evolving with these two.
Mm-hmm.
They have shown us things, we have talked about things, and we have elevated because of them. So tonight, they are getting ready to blow your mind.
Right.
Like they always do
with this
when
information.
we come together. Information is the new currency. So, Yolanda, do you want to introduce them or do you want me to introduce them?
I'd say they introduce themselves.
Oh, is that what
Yes, we have the kings and queens up in the building tonight. And again, like I said, these are special people that to us that are family as well as friends. So let's just start. I'd say you all introduce yourselves.
Well, ladies first.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Jamille Elbe, also known as Zuribai.
That's right.
Yeah.
A grown gang. Now you see.
Zuri
All right.
Bad.
Oh, that's
Face
Zuri
with
Bad.
the
That's
name.
right.
Face with the
Yes.
name.
All right. And every queen got a king,
That's right.
whether they want to admit it or not.
Oh, he's definitely my king now.
Okay. That's how you want to get talked about, fellas, in public and private. Go ahead and introduce yourself, fam.
I am Aker Elbe. And I'm here. I'm glad to be here, y'all.
We're glad that you're
we're
here.
glad
Yes, I'm excited about this conversation.
If you're
Right.
following him on Instagram, you will see he has the faded name because he drops truth,
Mm-hmm.
and Instagram takes his truth, and they say that's a little too much
Mm-hmm.
for what we do over
sometimes.
here. He is in the same situation, just not as major as my guy, Brother Risa Islam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Risa's on the 10 hit list that the government put out. The only non-scientist, the only non-medical professional that's on the list because of his content of not truths about that vacation.
Right.
Yes.
So they shut everything down on him. You can't find him on Twitter. You can't find him on Instagram. You can't find him on nothing. But he has a platform that is coming out. And of course, you've heard him on my show before. So I'll keep you abreast of where you can find him. And the reason I know about is because I tried to tag him into the Heat video that we did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And Instagram had a message
Not
pop up and
today.
say, hey, this Negro that you trying to include
Cannot be
tagged.
cannot
tagged.
be included
Mm-mm.
because of his rhetoric. And I said, well, I enjoy his rhetoric because
Right.
every time he put up something, it's a nice rhyme.
Right.
Okay, and then he
You
got
know
the
he gonna
facts.
rhyme.
Oh, he gonna rhyme. He
Yeah.
gonna drop some balls.
Yeah.
Then he got the information to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, how could, you know what? That's my question to you. This is how we gonna start this thing off. How could social media find you out of everybody, find you and decide what you were putting up was against protocol,
It was too
like it was
sensitive.
fake news?
Right.
That's a deep
And I
question.
never read nothing fake.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
It
deep
was
question.
always true.
But that's what we do over here. We
Well-
go below the surface now.
I could just say, you know, like one of our master teachers taught us,
Mm-hmm.
when you are in the truth is not popular. It's not widely known. And ever since I've been on social media I would say, I think I started when Facebook first came about.
Mm-hmm.
I've always I've always shared information.
Right.
Whether you find the truth or untruth, that's really none of my concern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a messenger. I'm sharing the information based on what I see, based on my experiences, based on what Spirit shows me. And I've always been a seeker,
Yeah.
I never stopped seeking, And as far as like Instagram, they shadow banning me or whatever, Facebook, the different social media outlets. I mean, it ain't stopping the truth. You know what I'm saying? They
No.
can try to stop me. They can try to stop people like Rizza Islam, others. The truth is here, and it's not going nowhere. So we just gonna keep doing what we're doing, until we create our own platforms where we don't have to worry about getting shadow banned and worried about our voice being stifled because somebody else got an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really it, man. And I've always been a person to speak my mind, even if I'm shaking and I know I gotta say what I gotta say, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So that's just it. I
I
don't know
was
what
just
to
gonna say you're always so passionate, and that's you and Jamille Zuri Bath are
Yes.
always so passionate about what you're speaking and what you're doing and intentional about it. Where does that passion come from? Why is it so important for you to spread to the masses that higher frequency, that higher spiritual learning that one should know of oneself?
All right, you want to answer that?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I can only answer it for myself. And for me, my mom and my grandfather were very big on education. And so they always taught me that when you learn something, you never keep it to yourself. You always share your knowledge because that's the only way others will learn. Then my grandfather used to have a saying. He says, if the mama can't read and the daddy can't read, how you expect the child to read?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody has to teach the child. So I've always stood by that with my grandfather now being my ancestor. So that's the reason why I'm very passionate about always sharing truth and sharing knowledge.
And I think with us in this westernized civilization and how we think, we have never been connected to the importance of honoring your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
We hear other people talk about it, and it's almost like, well, how do you do that? And it's like when people used to tell me after my mom transitioned, what you do now, how you do it, is a reflection on your mother. And you know how people always say, well, your mother, she sees what you're doing. She's proud of what you're doing. And I would be like, well, no, she don't, because she's not here.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start to understand, oh, she's here, because we all been here before.
Mm-hmm.
And we was passing through. And so everything you do now is a direct reflection on your mom. And you try, that's when you hear people say, oh, I'm just trying to make my mama proud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm just trying to hear those Southern cats. I'm just trying to make my daddy proud, man. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And I think if that was taught earlier,
Right.
and we could grasp that earlier,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see a lot of change, individually and collectively in our community.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Well, I could say this from my experience. I've always been outspoken all my life, even when I was a child. I would say things to grown-ups, and they would be like, they want to whoop my ass, but I would get away with it.
Did it get you in trouble?
Sometimes, but usually my grandmother, I'll be around. Sometimes my grandmother was she was the savior. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when she said something, that was it. So, but I was able ever since a child, like not to be disrespectful, but I wasn't ever afraid to speak to people if I felt like something was wrong. And so, like, I feel it's a duty, especially at this day and time. And for us, as so-called black people here in America, we are unique people, unlike other people.
Mm-hmm.
And our ancestry has been stripped from us, here. I'm not talking about the motherland, that story. I'm talking about our ancestry here, our heritage here, the royal families that was here.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing was stripped away from us. And so once you start to, like, I've always been a student of history ever since I was like middle school. I started reading like heavy stuff. And so And I always love history, and I always like my wife will tell you, like, most of the time, that's what I do every day. I don't even listen to the radio. Most of the time, I'm taking in information.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could be not a good thing, you know.
Look, Tone looking
You
like,
say you
oh,
don't listen to
you
the-
Really?
he from 3 to 7. But
That's it.
but from 3 to 7 p.m. he does.
Truthfully, only the person I listen to on the radio.
I'll give it a play.
So yeah, don't let me get in trouble here. But
Right.
I think that
It's not a whole listen to the radio.
She's tuned.
Correct.
I find it very important, you know, like my wife's grandparents, you know, you talk about your mom, but we got fathers too, you know.
Yeah.
It's a whole side to the story. And we are our ancestors. Like, I look at my parents and I see how much likeness that I have with my mom and my father, even though sometimes we don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I see myself in them.
DNA.
Yeah. And so it's like the parent, like the bloodline is ever living. You know what I'm saying? And once we begin to be able to tap into that bloodline and pull out those things, you know, that made us the people who we are, to be
Right.
able to be in here in America and deal with the things we've dealt with,
Right.
and we still excel and be the greatest at everything we do,
Come on now.
you know.
You better
And so
Okay.
imagine what we can do when we really know who we are as a whole, as a people. And I feel like you can go get all the money in the world and you still be a slave. You still calling yourself something that you're not. You still going along with the program. And I see in the way the system that how they do our entertainers, especially the black man right now, they got them in the dress. They got us, you know, they got us walking around here doing all kind of things, you know, for money. You know, at the end of the day, you know, these guys, they got contracts, they got agreements that they made, and they got to fulfill those agreements. You know, I'm not mad at them, but it's like, you can't speak for us. No, I can't let you speak for me. You know, I'm going to speak my voice. I'm going to speak for the ones I know. Because all the brothers that I know, like you, that's like my family and my brothers, the people that I look up to, they all doing stuff. They all are involved in the community. They just not sitting around twiddling their thumbs, wondering about who won the game and that. Even though they might watch sports or whatever, but that's not the main priority.
Right.
You know? And so I feel like with us, our main priority as a man, as that I see for our people, is to get us on code and who we are. Because we're not black people. And we are not these titles that we've been given. We're so much more. And so I'll try to look into that and bring about share those things with the people and get them the opportunity to see something different, because nobody's out there pushing the kind of stuff that I share. Very few. More people are coming online, but the mass association, they got us looking across the street. They got us always looking outside of ourselves, making us feel like we ain't got no home, and this our home from the beginning.
Exactly.
And when you start understanding that, you start with like, why is all these people trying to speak for us and tell us who we are? When are we gonna stand up and speak for ourselves? So that's my goal in life, is to share that part, because once we get that part, the rest, the game is over. You know, not to say that we taking anything from anybody else. No, we just claiming what's ours.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's the thing. Like you said, getting everybody on the same mindset and on one accord to think that way. Because it's a whole different mindset. You got a couple of people on Facebook that are chiming in that are like, yes,
What are
absolutely.
they saying?
Janie Frazier, she was saying facts. She said ancestors are a part of who we are. Their teachings are a part of our DNA. And then this was before we even got a chance to say something, then you spoke to that saying that's a part of who we are and a part of our DNA. Eleazar says that knowledge is power. And yeah, so you have a lot of people that are definitely in agreement with you.
Tonight you're going to get a lot of powerful energy off the words that you hear. Because words, ladies and gentlemen, are powerful. You heard when the sister called in to the show on yesterday, and we were talking about protecting your mental health, and she was talking about suicide. Fonda Bryant, who is a suicide survivor, 25 years now, and she was talking about the words that we use, that we need to just stop using.
Absolutely.
Crazy, psycho, loony, schizo. And I was like, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Now, since we don't do pork here,
Correct, we don't.
I'm not going to piggyback off what my brother said.
You going to front back?
Okay, I'm going to plant back.
All right.
We power our plants in here.
All right.
All of them. I'm going to plant back off what my brother said, and then I'm going to
Yes.
segue it into you, because I heard you talk about the duty of the man and what it is that you deem necessary to do and stay on code and why you are here. And we all know that God knowledge has this thing together: sun, moon, star, man, woman, child. Now, the single parent is pushed in the United States because we know what that does. That's another thing about looking across the street and not paying attention to what's going over here. So when he says his duty to man and how he perceives it, and it was very well spoken, what do you see as the duty and the role of the woman, especially the black woman?
Great question.
So
Yeah.
the so-called black woman, what I feel one of our main duties are, for one, nurturing is first. Because it's a lot of women that are not maternal. They struggle with that aspect because that has been lost, because it's been many of us that has had to be in a masculine role and don't know how to step back to be the nurturer that our men need. I think one of our other roles mainly is to be supportive and to speak life into the kings that we have in our household and our princes. Because if we continually tell them what they're not, and that's all they hear, then that's what they're going to think that they are. So even from childhood, you have to always encourage and let them know that they can do anything. So one thing I can only speak for me is that I try to always encourage Aker to let him know that I have his back regardless of no matter what it is that we're going through, we're going to get through it.
Listen, ladies.
Because I stand behind him, I stand on the side of him, and if ever need me, I will stand in front of him.
Listen,
And
ladies.
that is a very powerful thing, but that does not take away the masculinity that he has by any means. It means that sometimes when it's raining and he has that umbrella over me, sometimes he just may need that umbrella over him, and he just needs me to tell him, get up and let's go get it.
And see, the beauty is the way you're talking is there's an umbrella big enough for both of y'all to stand under.
Absolutely.
Because in this country, let me tell you the philosophy that's preached. When they push the woman to out-educate or to out-degree or to out-school the man, what you're doing is you're creating an inferiority complex. Because once she believes that she has moved up because of thus said school, degrees, and education, she takes that out on the man because now you are less than because of a piece of paper. But now let's go back to God body, and you said it, the nurturing aspect. If you take nurturing away from a woman, you've killed her.
You've killed him.
If you take protecting away from a man, you've killed him.
Right.
And so we need to understand that that is the foundation. I remember the other night, me and Y Square was having a discussion in front of our 12-year-old.
Okay.
And Y Square said, and listen, if the behavior does not change, I will have to discipline you. And we were talking belt discipline at the time. We were going old school.
Okay.
But then I said, in front of the 12-year-old, hold up. You can't discipline him.
Right.
I'll discipline him. There was no uproar. There was no fighting. There was no what? In God body, you nurture and discipline through that. That other side, he gonna get it from me. Because I don't even want him to see that coming from you. Even though traditional, my mama told me up because my daddy wasn't around. But still, my mama knew if she picked up the phone and say, I'm going to call your daddy, I'd jump out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Because do you know the words that used to scare a child the most?
Let me call your daddy.
I'm going to tell you daddy.
I'm going to tell you, Daddy.
Now you tell a kid, I'm going to call your daddy. He be like, I don't even know where he at. Saturday,
Right.
Right. But tell that same child, I'm about to call your mama. Please don't call my mama.
Oh, it's a wrap.
Don't call
You
my
can't say
mama.
that at the school.
Because
Remember, if your mom had to come to the school and work,
they know mama's
They
coming there. We
already
not
know.
playing.
Not
We
playing.
are not playing and we do not care about
Especially if they not
embarrassing
bleeding. You didn't. I done had the brake screw to come up here for this.
you. Right.
Set your ass.
back to 9 in class.
Right.
Okay.
And then what did the black mama do? Show me what you was doing.
Do it.
Oh, man, show me. Drive 20 minutes to come here to pick you up, take you home. Show me what you was doing. And guess what happened when you show up? You get your ass tore. It's a setup.
Yes. I
It's
got
a
some
setup.
stories, buddy. Let me tell you.
It's a setup. I told my son the other night, you ain't want to meet your grandfather.
No. I got a whooping.
He saw him with his son until his nose started bleeding. I said, see, don't do that no more.
Right.
Wow.
But to plant back off of that, moms are tired of being called.
Yeah.
We would love
For
to
the
call
family.
somebody else.
Right.
Especially
Say that
the
again.
father.
We
Right.
would love to call somebody else because we're tired.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a major thing again in society. So one thing you said something about with words being powerful. I had to realize that I had to stop calling myself a single mom before I met Aker. Because I wasn't single. I wasn't a single mom. I had a brother.
Mm.
I had god brothers.
Mm.
I had an amazing circle in Atlanta that involved men that my children trusted, that I knew that I can call if need be.
Right.
So I wasn't a single mom. So you have to be mindful again of the words in which you choose,
Stigmas.
because you're not single, because you're not in this by yourself.
That's true.
Hand claps for that, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hand
Clap.
Can I
claps.
add on to that too? I think a lot of why we suffer is from the lack of knowledge. And the language that we use is very confounding and very entrapping if you don't use it properly. You know, it's like, well, we always was taught, you know, name denotes title. So whatever you call yourself, then that's what you are, right? So it says the burden of proof is on the other person to prove you're not. Okay, because your word is that's who you are, that's your frequency, that's your power. And once you put your word out there in the universe, you know, say, like, I always tell people, you know, like, we say stuff all the time, like with the hip hop culture. I don't even say hip hop culture because this has been going on for a while. Like you say, we killing it. You know what I'm saying? I always like, people, why you say that?
Yeah.
Like, no, nigga, we healing it. Like,
Yeah.
why I want to kill something? Why I want to kill them? We been killing too long?
Right.
Like, we say this stuff, we don't even think twice about it.
I'm guilty
And it's
of that.
like,
Said
it's like we do these things every day, all day long. We putting these spells out in the universe. Universe is listening. She don't care. She gonna okay. Let's kill him then. Let's kill him every time we put it out there. So it's like once you understand really what we dealing with, when you talking about whether you talking about dealing with the things that we deal with in the community, whether you dealing with one-on-one with a person, how you speaking to them. Like I'm learning myself now. You talking about mental health. You know, I grew up in a household where my mother was back and forth in the hospital. And, you know, like I had an uncle that was hit by a car when he was younger. He was mentally retarded. He would do wild stuff, you know. I grew up around that kind of stuff. Growing up in the house with drug addict parents and living in a crack house, being homeless and all of that. So I've experienced the trauma from all of those things. But at the same time, too, in my family, we had the other side of the family, too, where it was like we came together. We stuck together. You know, our grandparents had businesses and things like that. From a very young age, I got exposed to it. But, you know, it was a hit. We was on a hit list. So when crack came in the 80s and all of that, it tore a lot of our generation apart, you know, our parents. So we didn't get that nurturing. We didn't really get that history and all of that. My grandma was the one that's taught me that. I was like, boy, we ain't come from no Africa. This your family, this your bloodline. You Choctaw, you Cherokee, this. And I was looking at my grandma like, you know, I'm getting ready to go to the Million Man March the week after this. When we had this conversation, I remember it so vividly. And my grandmother was telling me, like, you know, people had lands and all this stuff, money, they was educated and all that. Like, we ain't come from no slaves. I couldn't I couldn't fathom what she was saying at that particular time because I had been brought up in the school system and around people that's telling me something different. And it took my grandmother to now I can look back and be on how those and be like, wow, grandma, you was way ahead of your time. I see why you were the way you were. And I appreciate her for imparting that into me in the time in which she did, because I could have easily went to another direction and got caught up in the race game and all of that. But I feel like with our people, we our own worst enemy.
We are.
Absolutely.
Get our own way.
Yeah.
We are the ones who are put in place to keep us in check. You got all of these people, they do it for a check. We know these people. We see them every day on the TV, on the news, or whatever. But then you also, when you think about us as a people in America and just countless of years of miseducation, you know. One of the books that changed my life was Miseducation by
a Negro.
Yeah, I read that book in the 10th grade, you know. And I remember my librarian, the other kids in my school, they wouldn't think about books like that. I remember my librarian come to me one day. She was like, man, you be in here all the time. You reading these kind of books. She took me in the room. Across, this is at Persian High School in Detroit, Michigan. She took me in the room across from the library. It was a room full of books. Destruction of the Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams, Miseducation of Negro. She gave me probably like one of each copy that she got from Truth Bookstore. And I knew Truth Bookstore because I used to shop there. Like, I knew the owners, right? In high school, I'm getting these kind of books. She gave me these books. And she told me not to tell nobody. And I'm like, damn, like, we got all these books these people that donated. They can't even give them out in the school.
And you still see that now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You still see that now because I told London like last week, I said, readers are leaders. And he looked at me like I was talking crypto. And I said, okay, well, you're gonna understand because it's called a library because all the lies are kept there. So you open the book up and you dig them out yourself. It's funny you talking about what you're talking about. Go back to the entertainers. And one thing I want to point out, I want the people to overstand this. I don't care how many billions you got.
Me too, neither.
What they do is they always revert back to your real leaders. And we know what the outcome is. Assassination.
Yeah.
We gonna kill you.
We're going to get it.
Now what that does is that make a billionaire stay in line.
Exactly.
Because what'll happen is they'll say, all right, yeah, you're worth $2 billion, and you're worth $5 billion, but at any time,
When you
At
any
we
time,
can take it away
if
from
we
you.
feel that you're getting a little too cute, which means you're getting a little too black, which means you starting to do too much stuff for your people. We'll pull that rug from under you. And you know how we pull the rug. You know how we pull the rug. It'll be breaking news.
Oh, man.
What's done happened to, wait a minute, what happened? We
Harvey.
pull the rug, okay?
Right. It's night-night.
It don't matter who you are. And then other people see to my man, I won't be like Oprah. And they pull that rug, and you see, here's something else I want you to understand. If I got, let's just say me and Aker got $2 billion, all right?
Well, we're going to claim it.
And me
Okay.
and Aker say, well, we're going to open up a school in Charlotte for black so-and-so and so, and they block it. They kill it. Then after that, they come after me and Aker. But then the next week, you see me and Aker on the news conference talking about we're building a school in Africa. Have any of y'all ever took the time to ask, with all of these inner cities and these kids in the United States, why do these celebrities always build a school in Africa? I'm going to answer that because they won't let your black ass take that money
And do it.
and help your community.
community.
If you take that money, which we help you make,
Yes.
so stop that self-made, that went out when the mafia died.
that.
And you ain't Italian. So we wasn't even on that. And the reason we ain't on none of that is because black people can't unite to do nothing. So even in illegal
I'm
crime,
about to say,
you can't do that.
You can't
You can't have no mafia because y'all can't come together and
do too much.
no.
But when it comes to truth talk, and when it
Yeah.
comes to the real conversations like this, like we're having now,
It's
you're gonna
real.
lose half of them.
But why though, Squirrel? We're going to lose them because you have to unlearn what you've learned to relearn the truth.
Right.
And that's very difficult
Say
for
that
way
again.
too many
Say that
people.
again.
you have to unlearn
Mm-hmm.
what you have learned to relearn the truth.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And if you've been programmed,
They
Like
still,
you say,
they
all
still,
those
they still
years.
cuss you out if you say that picture of Jesus on your wall, Pastor. It's not a direct representation.
That's not what I read in that Bible.
right?
Kick your butt.
Because his skin is not copper on that picture that he pink.
Right.
What Sidney used to say, Monique's husband? Bible.
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 But here's the thing with the Bible. See,
Pardon us, Pastor.
the thing
Because I know my pastor from Wilmington.
we ain't gonna bash the Bible because there's a
No.
lot of truth in the Bible.
Absolutely.
If you want to be clear, we are those people of the Bible.
Yes.
And so,
Show us.
and see, here's the thing. They always want to keep us looking over to Africa because they don't want you to know that your ancestors really is the oldest people and the most ancient people on the planet, and that we brought civilization to the world. They don't want you to go that deep. So they always keep us looking across the street. And so these people, a lot of things that we see on the TV, that we've been, since the TV been in conception, conceived, the radio, TV, the media in general, they have had an agenda. And the main agenda is to get us still our inheritance here. Because America is a rich country. Everybody talking about Africa and the resources they got over there, but I mean they got a long way to go compared to us over here. If you think about, and this is no disrespect to Africans at all, but if you look at the contribution, the African Americans, the so-called African Americans, which are the original Americans, the original Indians as we was named, amongst other things, but we have contributed in the last 100 years. If you look at the things that we use every day, from the hot comb to everything, the computer, the internet, to everything that you can think of, had a so-called African American's name on that patent.
To this story.
Well, some of it sold out, and the rest, I wasn't there to know the story, but the thing about it is, we know that our ancestors did this in the midst of Jim Crow, in the midst of Christian black codes, in the midst of just straight up, just people just coming, just running our, taking us with that paper, and that's how they get us. The paper, the money. Everybody's focused on that.
Damn Tulsa.
Yeah.
And then the thing about it is, people don't even question the fact that, okay, talk about Tulsa. 1865, right? We were supposed to be free from slavery with nothing. Now we've been working for free all damn near 300 years. So how is it that so many of our ancestors, grandparents, their grandparents got millions upon millions of acres, more banks than they have now, more businesses? My grandparents had a gas station in downtown Detroit in 1970, an auto parts store, and a collision shop where they worked on cars. Okay, and I knew that growing up as a child in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is it that we just came out of slavery? Now we got all these so-called black cities everywhere. It's been black cities because we the ancient people. We built all of this. Our ancestors did. So I'm just like, okay, nobody's trying to figure out where they get all this land from. If they just, the white people just gave it to them? No, because the whole story of slavery and how it happened, all of that stuff that we know, the majority of the world knows, come from the TV. Tell lies visually. When a lot of us didn't, they got tricked out of their land by contracts, by treaties not being. We was trading with people all over the world. Okay, our ancestors been rich. Okay, and that's why you look at states like Mississippi, Alabama, and all this, with some of the richest people on the planet. How? And if these countries over there and these other places that they say got so much wealth, why come they people not living like that?
Don't that sound familiar, Yolanda? Does that not sound familiar? Because Yolanda gets mad at my guy, Tariq. Because Yolanda, okay, let me explain it to Yolanda. Yolanda don't like the way Tariq
He
kind of
comes sideways at some of the people
shots at people.
What I like.
And then he don't like it appreciated when someone throws a shot at him.
I tell Yolanda, if you're going to throw a shot at a cat like that, that's like throwing a shot at Rissa. You better be well versed,
Mm-hmm.
well educated, and you better be 110% on point of the topic and know what you're talking about. If not, he gonna find a loophole and he gonna drag you. All right. And what he was talking about earlier is what you're talking about now. The Africans was calling on the phone, and Tariq was like, "Sir, you Negroes over in America, what you do is," and he, sir, and where are you from? I'm from Ghana, right? But he was taking calls. He said, but the area code is Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then he was hold on, he must himself.
No, Yolanda. He said it's Michigan, sir. Why are you in Michigan? And he said, because my parents. He said, but sir, why are your parents? Why they come to Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, for a better opportunity. He said, sir, see, this is what I'm talking about. Why didn't you stay in Ghana? With all your resources and make it pop over there in your own homeland? Mm-hmm. You're over here, and some of the dude they call from Florida. He said, you're in Florida, getting all the benefits, all the money, but you're not trying to go back over there and do nothing, sir. Why? And they would freeze up. And I tell Yolanda, he get them every time with that. And then what he said, is what you just said. He said, sir, because they were telling, well, you don't have no culture. You don't, it came from Africa. He said, sir.
That's the lie.
He started talking about the Aborigines. Then he started talking about we, and I am proud because my ancestors, my family, my lineage is here. We built the wealthiest nation here. And we did not run or flee. We survived slavery, and we still get it popping over here. And that's what I am proud of. You, sir, fled
to come over here.
Your country, sir.
To drive Uber.
No, when he do that, that's what I wrote. He said, you come over here. That's what he said. And you won't, because...
He told him, he came over here, you drive
Somebody said, you are jealous, you cut us. He said, jealous? He said, you want me to be jealous because you drive Uber, sir.
Right.
And DoorDash.
Right.
And you want me to be jealous because, and then it goes back to, sir, but you're here. When are you going back to your country to help get it popping over there? And the dude said, well, my family, they're trying to
come
leave.
Y'all come in.
They're trying to leave now to go back. He said, you're Michigan.
Right.
You're African in Michigan. He got all that over there.
That's the real African American.
He said, you got all that over there, but you're here.
Right.
Why are you here, sir? And then they were like, well, what do y'all do? You put money. He said, sir, I went to Africa. I filmed. I've given money to your economy, sir, because a Haitian tried to come at him too. He said, sir, I just did a film and I gave money. But what did you do? You are in Miami, sir. And you're not in Haiti. Why are you not in Haiti? Well, you're not going to talk about my people. Like, sir, why are you not in your homeland trying to build that up? You over here.
Right.
So it's the same thing that you talk about. And we don't even get that part.
No.
You know what I mean? We don't even get that part. And there's so many parts that's missing. We like a Lego set with about 10, 12 pieces missing. But we try to put the thing together and still make it look good.
The world is living off our people's backs, period. If you look at what we contribute,
he sure did.
Because he started looking up.
Yeah.
When you look at where they place their businesses, I know a lot of business owners that don't look that with my skin tone, and I sit at the same table and break bread with them, okay? But they businesses is in the hood, okay? And most of the people that predominantly support these businesses is our people. I'm from Detroit. I'm from the 313.
What up, though?
So I look at in the cities in the inner city of Detroit, majority of the stores owned by Chaldeans, right? But the Chaldeans, they got the second largest population of Arabs outside of Iraq and all. The Middle East is right there in Michigan, and they wealthy. They've been clocking money off us, most of them. Okay, so how is it if we so poor and we so downtrodden and whatever and what have you? How is it that all of these people, as soon as they come over here, they setting up their businesses in our neighborhoods?
Because for one, they know that we're going to spend the money, and we're going to spend the money with a race that is not ours, and it could be the exact same store, they know the mentality that the majority of us have,
Right.
and they play on it.
Right.
Because they know that they won't be able to put it in a quote unquote predominantly Caucasian
Because the
or
white don't like it.
predominantly
Right.
or another race, because they don't want them there, period. So
No.
why do the hair stores are owned by either the Chaldeans or the Chinese people or whatever?
Exactly.
That's why all the nail shops are right there.
Yeah.
Because why? They know that that's going to be the first ones that we're going to go there. But it could be a quote unquote black owned, same exact franchise. We can walk right past it to go to somebody else. Why? Because we will count each other's pockets so closely. Because we don't want another one to have just $1 more than what we have, but we'll give it to somebody else that's not going to do anything about it. Because like I tell you, okay, so like I'm a sports mom. My children are old now, but I was a sports mom. None of those neighborhood companies would support those local park teams. But we spending all our money in that neighborhood, though, right?
Yeah.
But you'll come to me, or you'll come to Aker, you'll come to you all. Oh, will you support my child? But you won't even come to my store.
Right.
Ask who you know about your 25 packs of weed from to go sponsor your son's baseball team.
Right.
But they won't.
Right. And that's what we were just talking about the other night. Tony and I were having a conversation about clothing. And he said, I wonder if people really knew how Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Fendi really felt about it. But if they really knew how these brands and companies felt about us as a culture, I wonder if we would support them the same way, because you quick to see somebody with Celine shirts on and with this.
Yeah.
But we have black brands we struggle with trying to get, and we can have the still same quality. Still the same thing, you know what I mean? Have found a great manufacturer, doing great stitching, but you'll run to go and put one of these brands.
You want that name.
That's years and years of planting a
It's that program.
Adolf Hitler was a genius. I know some people looking at me right now are like, what the hell is Tom talking about? Listen, Adolf Hitler was smart as hell.
He was.
One of the smartest men on the planet. And I'm going to tell you why. You tell me how hard it is to make an entire race feel superior to not one other race, but the rest of the world, and go of what one man say. Now, he didn't take that energy and put it in the right direction or move it in the right direction. He used it in a negative instead of a positive.
Right.
See, but he was a genius. These clothing companies and marketing, they spend so much money on making sure that we and people of color know exactly what's going on with these clothes, this liquor, these cigarettes. You can't find no liquor billboard in Valentine. They never let you put that up.
Put it up there.
But you can come in our hood, we got that, we got Newports, we got this. And then the thing is, when I heard my man say, he talked to the guy from Rolls Royce, and they said, he said the man it wasn't no code, it wasn't no small talk, you got to figure it out, no loophole. It was, we don't need
to advertise a commercial.
We don't need you to buy our automobiles. We really don't want you in our automobiles. But you have the money, so you can go buy anything you want. But you're not doing us no favors by taking our car and putting it in a rap video. Right. Taking our car and putting rims on it. You're not doing us no favor. We are fine if you buy one
or not.
If you do not. But that don't register with us.
Right.
Because when we get money,
that's exactly
name brand. Yeah. That's why I always make Yolanda always say, Tone, I have 20 million and be in a 2-bedroom townhouse in Walmart every day. And I'd be like, yep. Yep.
And the thrift store.
Yeah. Listen, there's no such thing as a that should look like they give you you want to attain to because they only let one get up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's who you are. I want to be Braun. I want to be Mike. I want to be Oprah. I want to, but do you know how many millionaires you walk by in the course of a day?
Right.
And don't even know
And
it.
you don't even know it?
Right.
Because you're looking for the Rolexes and the diamonds and the Louis Vuitton.
They not wearing that.
What they got on?
That ain't real wealth
That ain't what
anyway.
they got on.
It's not.
But
It's
again,
not.
it goes back to that programming.
Yeah.
And it's,
Too many was programmed to feel like when you've made it, you showed that, and that's what makes you feel like now you're accomplishing something.
What about when you make
So look, what do you think
show
about?
your family?
Yeah, and what do you think about this comment that was made on Facebook
Okay.
from Janie Frazier? And then after this, I really want to get into this awesome event that you have going on and coming up, and talk about that as well. And then your businesses, because we see the shirts.
I'm mad because
I want to talk about. I know Tom be going.
Right. That's why we just got to do part two.
Right.
less than an
But
hour.
speaking about brands and clothing and that thing, Janie Frazier says Kanye is a genius and he developed his brand based on slave apparel. He sells it to white people for millions. So now white people are wearing slave-inspired clothing. He is getting his reparations. What do you think about that?
well, you know, as far as Kanye West and clothes, I'm not hating on Kanye West or nothing. He's a very creative brother.
He is
But the
definitely.
clothing line sucks to me.
It sucks.
I wouldn't give that Negro
It
10
does suck.
cents for none of that shit.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even value no respect for these guys who get money and go give it to people that don't give a fuck about. You could come with the
water.
You could come all that. You could come and instead of going to go to what's the jeweler name? Go take you some money and go invest in the mine. Go get them. Because we just having the money, but we just throw it away like it ain't funny.
Right.
Oh, hey,
I don't respect that. I don't respect that, and I feel like for us, it's time for us to support each other. I'd rather walk around with a tone shirt on or a Blue Crew shirt on or whatever, and I know that I'm money without nobody else tag because I'm priceless anyway.
Right.
Can't even put a price on me.
Let me get an applause on
Right.
So
And Janie is saying the fact that it's not for us, he's getting his money from them, his coins from them.
hey, may the force be with him, but he won't get no money from me for no clothes. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Now I might go. You know what? Kanye West to me, I think he's a tool in some ways. I think he has a lot of profound things to say.
Right.
He does speak a lot of truth. But as far as me looking up to them, like I don't really look up to them because to me, with the money that he got, well, why you ain't bringing it back to the hood?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got all the billions you want, but if you ain't doing no good in the hood, why do I care about what you doing? Because I'd rather help somebody in my neighborhood help to grow something and prosper than these niggas. They already got it.
Right.
Why we keep looking at them for the answer?
Right.
Why we don't look at the people around us and work together and come up with our own solutions?
I always scratch my head when I say, so I'm worth $1 billion. But I still can't say what I want to say.
Right.
I still can't do what I want to do. I still can't build where I want to build.
Right.
But I got $1 billion. How you got restraints
On what?
I got $1 billion? Well, you can't tell me nothing. Yes, we can.
They're not free.
Yes, we can tell you. Try it.
Because we the one that gave it to you.
Try it. Try it. That's what you do. Go try it. Go try to build your university in the hood and see what happens. It won't go through.
Right.
I'm not going to let that go through because if one person see it with wealth and
And
another
another
black
one
person
gonna
see
see
it
it.
with wealth, and we're not going to start no chain reaction.
Like,
Chain reaction will be some diamonds around your neck and some Rolexes
A
and
car.
all of that. But we're not going.
And a house.
We'll let you fund a couple of scholarships. You know what I mean? Do a little campaign, a couple of programs for some underprivileged. You know, but
show your face
Let me
in
tell-
some hospitals and
What?
the children's ward. That's about it.
name on something, Mike.
Right.
Well, I'm hoping
What's your name on the hospital?
these type of establishments and schools and places for our young black youth and entrepreneurs begin to pop up. And even if it's in small clusters, like we know of one here, Ace Academy.
Right.
they are rearing up some young black entrepreneurs
doing
that I
great things over
definitely
there.
would be leaders in the community. Look at what LeBron James is doing.
I tell you a lot of today, that's how y'all know when I'm done with radio. When LeBron say that's it,
Then
I'm
that's
gonna come Sunday and say this is the say we have done enough, and I'm shedding tears.
that's a Lord. Wow.
Hey,
This is an event that you have coming up that women are not invited to.
Don't say it like that.
I'm gonna say it like a
only.
retreat. Yes, it's a retreat for kings
We're
and
trying
for
to get
men
ourselves
only.
together.
So please explain what the event is about, what inspired you to do this event, and what kind of activities will go on, what people can look forward to.
Well, the inspiration for the event was that I feel like within our community, we need a lot of healing. We suffer from PSD, cognitive dissonance, prisoners of war. We just been through a lot as a people, and I see a lot of I've been in a healing circuit for a while in different channels, and I feel like there's not been a lot of opportunity for the brothers to come together. Like we can come together, watch the game, we come
Right.
together, do all these things,
Right.
but why we can't come together and pray? Why we can't come together around a campfire?
Right.
Why we can't come together and join hands or work on a project together?
Right.
And be in nature together and tap back into the earth, because I feel like that is what's missing from our society as a people of the earth. We have lost that, and when we went into the city, when we got segregated, we lost our damn minds. We lost our way. And I think that getting back to the land, getting back to Mother Nature, as we say, to the source, will help us to get on the right course. And so this event has been like probably about, really, I ain't gonna say how long it's been in the making, but I and some other brothers that's here that work with brothers, mentoring and things like that, we decided to come together to bring this about in the wintertime, when it's like testing us to get outside our comfort zone and get into a different space where it's just us out here, and as they say, it's just air and opportunity. So we're going to be doing meditation. We're going to have a ceremony. We actually supposed to be doing a group event where we're going to be starting to build a sweat lodge on a property. Well, and should I say what a property is? No, but if you want to get more information,
Yes.
hey, hit us up in the inbox, Aker L Bay.
I'm going.
Yes.
Tone gonna be there. We got other brothers that's coming, that's tapping in. Hopefully, it's gonna be a good turnout. And whoever come, whether it's one, two, or a few, we're gonna make it do what it do. So we're gonna be there under the stars and just having a good time with the
And tell
brothers.
people again, tell the men again how they can be a part of this retreat and the dates.
So the dates for the event is coming up 18th through the 20th
February.
of February. Yes, we do have a day pass. If you want to do the day pass, where we're gonna do like meditation, it's gonna be vegan food, we're vegetarian, so we're gonna have it's gonna be a clean eating for the weekend. Give ourselves a chance to detox. And also we're gonna be doing a ceremony that night.
And so
But dance does not include that because I read the flyer.
No.
Right. So
Look
they have the choice to either stay the whole weekend, which will be from a Friday to a Sunday,
Yes.
or come for the day pass, which will
Yes.
be on Friday or Saturday, or just
Saturday is the day pass, and so that's when they're gonna probably get the most for their money.
Okay.
But we will be doing fishing. We're just gonna be doing a lot of outdoor stuff. There's things on the property. We got a thing called a Photon Genius. It's an infrared sauna. We got a Megan bed, which is like, all this stuff. Real cool stuff. So we got Reiki masters there. People that need some clearing. You need some clearing. We just loving on each other.
Boy, that's Costa Rica before Costa Rica.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
It's the priest.
So what I'm going to add to it from the woman's perspective, Aker and I have been talking about this for a few years. We started with the fact that we was going to do a couples one. And so we had a family meeting last year, well, 2020. And so what we wanted to do was that, so it's 5 boys.
Mm-hmm.
5 men.
Right, young men. And then we have the 2 grandsons. So I said, so you know what? Let's start a guy's trip where Aker will go with the male children, and then we have a daughter. And of course, we have our daughter in love, who we also call our daughter. So then I would go on a trip with the 2 women of our family. So we would have the women bonding, and we would have the male bonding. Then it got to be a little bit more, so I said, well, you know what? I think that this is something that men need to do, because you hear about the women always taking girls trips.
Yeah, always.
We will go women traveling
Together.
right. And so once it got to be to the point to where we realized that men need a lot of healing as well, like Aker said. But because women have been in a masculine space for a long time, our men are not comfortable with being vulnerable with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So of course they're not going to be comfortable with being vulnerable with who they call their brothers.
Right.
So then I was like, okay, how about we pause on the couples and you concentrate on just doing the men. So he was able to collaborate, because we love collaboration over competition,
Right.
Yes.
with 2 other kings that's here in Charlotte. And so at one point it was going to be, well, maybe the wives would come, but we would not be in the same living space to help semi-facilitate. And I was like, you know what? No.
Let the men do
Let
it.
them really just do it all the way around. So for the ladies that's listening that have men in their lives, whether it's your husbands, whether it's brothers, uncles, sons or whatever, we're not doing the young children this go round. So adult children.
21 and over.
This is,
Yeah, preferably.
yeah.
Okay.
Even though we might make an exception, or maybe if they out of school.
Like 18.
But at least,
Yeah.
but definitely out of high school.
Okay.
To be able to get an experience like no other. The property is something that they will never forget, because it sits on approximately 150 acres. I'll tell that part. This property is very special to Aker and I, because this is actually where we got married. So people that follow us on social media, if you all have seen our wedding video, that is
It's
actually
beautiful.
where it will be. So this is something that is true and dear to us for what we love to do in the community, and to be able to get the men in our lives to be able to come together in a masculine space, but then also to be in a vulnerable space with each other as well. So this is a time, ladies, that when I spoke about that nurturing, is when they will need the nurturing from us and the support to be able to go, to push them to go.
Encourage them to go.
And from once they come back, because you don't know what they will share or what they will experience while they're there, and they will need us more than anything at this point.
Oh, we going in.
So
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
It's going to be a very beautiful
encourage
experience.
you to go, baby. Yeah.
Right. It's going to be a
Yes,
very,
you got
very
to sign up.
beautiful
So
experience.
again, please let the people
And
know
so-
who are listening, who are watching,
Absolutely.
where do they need to go if they want to be a part of this retreat starting on February the 18th? Where do they need to go?
Okay, so
Men.
you want to go? Should I get my number?
Give out the number, yeah.
All right,
Yeah, they gotta get in
just
contact
call
with
me
you.
704-449-1678. Hit me up and I'll give you the details. It's a $75 deposit, $250 for the weekend. It's gonna be something that you never experienced before. I guarantee you, you're gonna be glad you stepped through the door.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that
Absolutely.
$250 covers their lodging and
Well, we're gonna be outside, but we're gonna have, if you have outdoor equipment, tents or whatever, we got some extra space in our tent. I got the
They
TP
will be
tent,
access to indoors as well.
but we will be
But
sleeping.
you will not.
so
Go ahead,
Tom,
Sorry.
the tent. Okay, he's sleeping. Okay.
But I got 7. I got room for 7.
Okay.
7 people in my.
You
in
better
the
get
tent
in the
we got.
curtain.
I'm
We
already-
don't have no tent.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't like it.
Beautiful experience, gentlemen. Definitely, definitely. Come on.
When
So
I left, I tell you that.
absolutely.
I believe it.
I tell you that.
I believe
And that is the prelude
it. Yeah.
for rhythmia.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can feel it.
Yes.
And they can follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, we on Instagram, Aker Elbey, AKERELBEY.
Underscore.
Facebook, yes,
Underscore.
yes. And then my wife, she could tell you.
J D as in David URR 7920 on the Instagram, or Zuri_Bath.
All right. Well, we're gonna give the people a little bonus tonight, even though our folks on who might have been listening into the podcast, they might not get this tidbit, but the people on social media will still get it. We want to talk about these sweatshirts you have.
Blue Crew Painters. What is that all
Yes.
about?
What is
Blue
painters?
Because I know ain't no black people painting
Yeah, tell us about
in
it.
Charlotte.
Well,
Hey.
first of all, my husband is a certified journeyman, so he is definitely more than just a painter.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody can paint, but everybody's not a painter. And
That.
I've definitely been
Applause.
fortunate to be a part of the building trade since really, I've been working on homes since I was like, maybe 12, 13 when I got my first job for an auctioneer named Rex McCrary in Birmingham, Fairfield, Alabama. He owned a lot of homes, probably like 300 houses.
Mhm.
And he used to just take me to jobs, drop me off, like, go paint that, clean this, so he had us working in the field. And once I graduated high school, I thought I was going to college, and I ended up just working, and I got a job as a painter, and I never looked back.
Wow.
Started my first company in 1998, and ever since I got into the business, once I got into school, it took me 5 years to actually get into an apprenticeship program.
Wow.
In Michigan. And at the time when I did, I was at our local, it was only probably me, my brother Will, who's still in the union, my brother Adrian, who passed away shortly after like 2003 or whatever. It was a handful of so-called black brothers that was in the trade out of all the apprentices that went through the program at our time. And anyways, the Blue Crew Painters was kind of one of our baby creations that we came up with back in 2014. And our goal was to basically set up a business operation where we can kind of be like a one-stop shop. And so we also have Blue Crew Innovation, which is like the mothership of Blue Crew Painters. And so recently we started a training program here with the city of Charlotte.
I saw it.
With the Mecklenburg Council of Elders.
I saw what you was doing over there with them kids.
Yes, and so man, that was awesome. We had the Painting Contractors of America. They came out and filmed it. They actually interviewed us. Getting ready to do another interview. They put us on the magazine cover. I just found that out today.
Okay.
Wow.
So we're gonna be featured at the Painting Contractors of America
Excellent.
National Convention in Orlando, March 2nd through the 4th. So the Blue Crew Painters, man, has been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears of me getting into the trade of painting and decor and, just working with my hands and learning the trade and learning the craft of the trade, dedicated 25 plus years of my life. And, we started the company. My wife is my partner. Our children work for the company. And our
Family
goals,
business.
yeah, we've been fortunate to work with some of the best people in the game as far as I'm concerned, and service a lot of great clients throughout the city of Charlotte and throughout the country. We do work, wherever it's the check, we gonna be there.
Right.
So,
Let me say
Wherever
this.
it's the check.
I went to the program that he had for the kids, and I saw what he's doing, the classrooms. I saw some of the pieces that they had redone and painted table and desks, and I took pictures of it. And it's very hands-on, but it's very eye-opening, because painting isn't something where you hear a young black kid be like, I want to paint.
Right.
I didn't say it.
I want to paint stuff, or I want to paint houses, and it's lucrative. It is lucrative in painting. And when I think of painters, I think of the dominant society coming in the white pants and the white shirt and painting. And very seldom coming up did I see a black guy painting like they painted. You would find somebody who could paint. He did it as a hobby, or he was good at it, but you didn't look like the Sherman Williams guys. Or, you know what I'm talking about?
Professional
Yeah,
painter.
you didn't look like the painters. And so when I saw what Aker was doing, man, I said, man, this is very
real about
encouraging. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I started looking at Aker's page, Blue Crew Painting. If you go and see some of the work that they do, I'm not talking about they came to your house and they painted your white walls blue and they trimmed out your cabinets. I'm talking when Aker be like, no. I'm not even on the walls. That ain't the way I'm going. It's when he say another job well done, and he has redone a ceiling
Right.
with the fixtures and the bot, and he show you what it started, and I'll be like, man, yo,
But he took a wall and turned it into texture.
like this what he really do, and this is what black people say. We all say it. So I'm gonna tell you what we say. Damn. The white people paint.
Yeah.
It's like the white people doing ceilings.
We taught them.
Still, but we still think the white man ice colder. So it's
Right.
still comparative
Yeah.
until you see it yourself. And I'd be like,
Right.
man, listen, this kid is paint. I remember when Aker came to our spot, and I said, Aker, got this little spot in here that London has messed up. First of all, Aker was like, that's a do-it-yourself.
Right, you can do that.
No damn blue cool paint. I'll tell you what the paint is so you can match it up. And he looked at it and told me what the paint was. And I said, I know this nigga not look at this paint and tell me what kind of paint it is.
We used to paint the building.
Right.
When it was first
I
built.
won't tell on the ice,
Right,
on the ice cream.
Yeah, when that building was first built, we was like one of the first contractors to come in there and paint.
Don't say no more because the nigga trying to figure out what.
Right, which
Right. No. That built it up with a.
right.
But
That's all I.
that's a beautiful thing.
On the Blue Crew, like Wasquat said, it is a family-owned business. One of the things that we value ourselves in is that, for one, we want to leave a legacy for our children,
Oh, yeah.
to teach them the true artship of entrepreneurship
Yeah.
and owning their own, not to be able to work for anyone else unless they want to, but they don't have to. That's one thing. Another one of the things about Blue Crew is that we are very passionate about having work for the community when it is available. That's very important to us. And in a non-judgmental way, whether or not they are a returning citizen to the community, or whether or not they just want to take the time out to learn something to be able to make income for themselves and their family. It's very important for us as well.
Got you.
Baby,
Baby, you're blocking the whole. Do that.
Oh well, I thought you might have changed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The other.
Oh well, now I might just want to see what I'm doing.
I want them to see that.
I just wanted them to see. Yeah.
Well, go ahead and turn
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So you can follow us on Instagram at Blue Crew Painters. We're also on Facebook under Blue Crew Painters as well. What else can I say about the
What you
company?
can say is, if you need something
If you
painted,
need
Come on now.
anything, I mean,
Yeah.
we say we're Blue Crew Painters, but I have to say, and I don't say this because he is my husband, because I said it before. I married him. The hands that he puts and the love that he puts into the work is definitely above and beyond any other paint company that you will ever experience, not only in Charlotte, but anywhere.
In the world, Craig.
I talk about his work often because not only is it the painting, he does wall coverings. He does.
We.
I don't say we because I don't really do anything. Him and my boys do it. I just get the check.
Yes, she did.
y'all gonna
And
toast?
and I
I don't
collect
really
the
tell
checks
jokes. I
and
help put the contract
and I do
together.
payroll. So I am the office person. I am more behind the scenes. And
Yeah.
as he says,
There's nothing wrong with that.
right.
She keep me in line.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, we do cabinet refinishings. the ceilings and the fixtures that Tone was talking about with the decorative tiles, like just to be able to transform your whole space into something amazing is what Blue Crew does. So we have a motto. We say we do it right the first time. So if you're looking to re-beautify your home, definitely give us a call. And again, that phone number is 704-449-1678.
And
That's
listen,
right, baby. Give it to
what
'em.
caught my attention is me and Yolanda in London. We went to Asheville to the Biltmore House.
beautiful
I've
up there.
never been in my life in North Carolina, but I've never been.
Mm-hmm.
Used to always see it, and finally got in it. And first of all, I told Yolanda as soon as I walked in the front door, I got to come back because see the kind of person I am. I can take an hour and go to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I can do inside of the Biltmore. You leave me in there all day and come back and get me when the night go down. Because I boy to maneuver and it's so fascinating. But I saw the ceilings, and I saw one of your pictures one day, and what you had done to the ceiling reminded me of the Biltmore. And I was like, yo, this cat really know what he's doing. This cat really get down. So listen, beautiful people, sooner or later, you're going to have to tap into what you know is right.
Right.
And what you know is real. And you're going to have to trust somebody that look like you.
Absolutely.
To come and do the work whom you think the dominant society does so well until you realize that we taught them.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And you can see that in the work. And one of the things she said that should have resonated with you is the love that he puts into the work is displayed by the final product. A lot of times when the dominant society comes to your house, it's a check. It's a time thing. We in and we out. We're going to put it in, we're going to put it out. And we don't really worry about if you are satisfied with the work because of how we feel about our work. Here, I would say that he would call you in the room and say, look at it and tell me what you think and listen to you. And I'm telling you, but just off his pictures alone, they really do some great work. So if you think about any kind of renovations, and y'all be watching HGTV, and you trying to flip your kitchen like that, and you want that, give them a call. Give Blue Crew Painters a call. I'll even come out there one day, okay, and I will put the tape on the. I'll put the tape on the border.
So that's what we call prepping. So
Sit down.
That's all the work right there, you know. We'll do the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah.
But I know we getting close to the time to leave. And, man, we got to do this again.
We do.
Definitely have to.
It's so much.
I'm like, what?
I'm not kicking you one of something.
Okay.
It's so much that we can talk about as far
We
as,
ain't even got the stuff.
you know, what we do with at the Blue Crew. You know, we also have a nonprofit community participation revitalization. Y'all be on the lookout for that because we coming to a hood near you. And our plan is to take these skills. You know, I only got 2 hands, you know, and I've been in this game for a long time, made a lot of money, but now it's time to make some millions. And I realized, you know, you could get there faster when you got more people.
Yeah.
You know, and so my goal now is to share what I've learned through my trials and errors, and Lord knows it's been a lot of those, and also victories too. I like to think I won more than I lost, but I definitely want to share what I know with the other upcoming generations and older people too, and show them ways how they can beautify their homes. Because I think a lot of things that we suffer from too. We could look good on the outside, but if you got Louis on and you going home to a shithole and to a place that look like a dump, I got a problem with that. So you know, instead of buying some Louis, call the Blue Crew and come and get your house in order, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Instead of Louis, call Bluey.
Yeah.
Instead of Louis, call Bluey. What you got, Bluey?
Nothing. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you all for
We
being
didn't
here.
even do
For
our little
coming.
thing.
Right. We
We
totally
ain't
ran
have time
out.
to do it. We ran.
Yep. We
ain't
totally
did the
ran
plant
out.
medicine. That's what part 2 is.
Right. So we'll definitely have to schedule something else to talk
Absolutely.
about.
We could do
Schedule
it
another
after
time to come and talk about some plant medicine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Black folk
definitely.
don't get scared.
Hey,
Oh, absolutely.
It's time to go back to the earth, man.
It's a beautiful
Don't get
experience.
scared.
we gonna get forced into it, whether we like to or not.
Absolutely.
The grocery stores is running out of food, so we're going to have to get in the field sooner or later, my people.
Yeah.
So let's come on.
So why not now get on those plants?
Mhm.
You know.
And talk about the importance of plants as far as what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of your health is your wealth. We still
Absolutely.
taking that for granted.
Learning how to grow.
Your own stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, you
Putting
can
your
grow
hands in the
gardens at
dirt.
your house. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because a lot of grandmoms ain't around to show you how they did it now. So it's up.
But
up
it's
to
in
you.
there. It's in the DNA. Because, you know, it was one time you all was at the house and I was telling Square that really, it's a lot of times it's when I try something else with the gardening, I really don't know. I get emotional when I do work in the garden because my father he can grow anything, anywhere. So the Mississippi genes come out whether or not you're familiar with it or not
Right.
because I just work really through him and through my grandmother and my grandfather. And I never had the privilege to meet my grandfather. So it's there. Only thing you have to do is really just be willing to tap into
Tap
it and to
into it.
listen.
Yeah.
She going to tell you what to
Tap
do.
into it.
All right.
That's going to be a great conversation for us to have in the future, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you
We'll be here
everyone
for it.
again for joining Grown Man Conversations Visual Podcast. Please make sure you tune in next week, same time, same place. It's going to be all about relationships. We're about to go into Valentine's Day. So I think we have the relationship doctor on next week, which
Okay.
should be great.
And remember, beautiful people,
Mm-hmm.
you can take that same energy that you have on Valentine's Day, and you can use that on any day.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Any day of the week that you so choose, you can do that. This capitalistic society has figured out another way to do some incredible marketing and to tap in to make money off a natural emotion,
Mm-hmm.
love.
Yes.
And the action behind love is not in the stores. The action behind
It's in
love
self.
is in self. So, you know, we're not Debbie Downers. We are profounders because we're giving you the truth. And that's the double truth, Ruth. And so we can get on up out of here. Y Square.
Yep. Hit the
Okay.
music, boo.
All right, then.
Thank
I hear
you.
it.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night. All right, now. All righty.
That was
That was
nice.
great.
That was
Minute.
another great show.
Absolutely.
That was some great information.
And we definitely only tapped the surface.